Welcome back to another video. It is Thursday evening. It is 7:20. So where do I even start? Yesterday, Wednesday, was supposed to be my day 2 of the training week. I did not end up training yesterday. So I was going to film a full day in the life yesterday. But the way my day started, basically my first hour of the day yesterday was so stressful and just everything that could go wrong went wrong. So by 7:30 in the morning, I felt like I'd already lived an entire day. So I was like, just crack on, get work done. It got to about 3:30. I was so exhausted and I started to get a bit of a headache. So I was like, right, finish everything you have to do, get the last of your replies done, have a nap. You'll feel better after a nap and then you can train. Except my headache just got worse and worse and turned into a full-blown migraine by the time I actually got out of bed at about 6. I came downstairs just to like check on the dogs. My boyfriend was home, and basically just asked him if he would take control of walking or like take over the final dog walk of the day, because I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do much tonight. Hopefully I'll still be able to train even if it ends up being a bit late. But I ended up in so much pain from my headache that I literally ended up crying because my head felt like someone had just like grabbed my brain and was squeezing it. So that wasn't particularly fun. And I basically just spent the rest of the evening in bed, apart from a small break where I had to go and like play with Azula just because Zuko was on his walk and she needed some like energy burning basically. But it was nice playing with her, to be fair. So it's the first time I've actually played with her without Zuko home. So that was nice on the plus side. But yeah, I felt so rough last night. I felt immense guilt as well over not training, if I'm totally honest, which is not good. But yeah, I felt really guilty. Like I really struggled with not training exactly when I'm supposed to train. Like I really struggled with moving stuff around, with having to like miss days, push days back. Like I never miss training days. And yeah, I felt a lot of guilt around that, which I don't think helped with how I was feeling last night. But when I was like in tears, I was like, okay, no, this is definitely, I should not be pushing through this pain. Like I need to rest. So I was like, it's fine. If I have an early night, I had a nap yesterday anyway, get loads of rest, good night's sleep, I can train today. Except this morning, still felt really rough, felt a bit sick, lingering headache. I had to go to the doctor this morning, so I still got up and walked the dog first thing. And then I went straight to the doctor's, got home at like 9:30, 9:45, had breakfast, and I was so ravenous this morning as well. So I didn't get time to eat before I went to the doctor's. I just had to go for a like routine blood test this morning. But by the time I got home, I was so hungry that I ate 2 meals in one go, which to be fair, didn't matter because my first meal was later than normal anyway. And I sat on the sofa. It was probably about 10:30 when I sat on the sofa, and next thing you know, it's like 1:30 and I've been sound asleep for hours. Thought I felt better until I sat up and my head was still just awful. So I basically said to myself, possibly not even going to train today. I was getting really like upset with myself over the potential of not training again, because I was like, it's one thing pushing my day back and essentially just, having my squat, bench, deadlift day today and Saturday a day closer together. But if I didn't train today, I was like, how am I going to fit the rest of my week into what's left of the week? Am I just going to have to actually skip my SBD day and then just go into my SBD on Saturday and just hope for the best kind of thing? There was a lot of kind of guilt there. So I was like, just keep an open mind, just continue through the day. I had to take Azula to the vets for about 5:30 today, for her second lot of vaccines. So I was like, I have to go do that. There's no point me like rushing a meal in and training now. Like I'll just go for another dog walk, get some fresh air, take more painkillers, take her to the vets, reassess how I feel. And we got back just after 6. And I felt a bit better. I still feel incredibly tired, incredibly groggy, lingering headache, but nowhere near as bad. But I was like, let's just come out and try. It's really annoying because it's actually quite a heavy week. Well, it is a heavy week of training as well. But I was like, I don't have to take it as heavy. Like if I'm not feeling good, I don't have to take it as heavy. And I've basically said to myself, which I don't like saying this before I train, because I think if you admit that you don't feel good before you actually start training, your training is going to suffer. But quite frankly, there's no denying that I feel like I'm going to die. So I was like, just come in with the intention of doing an SBD, see how you go. So for squats today, I've got a top set of 5. The planned range is 170 to 175, an RPE of 7.5. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. But I'm just going to kind of go in with an open mind, see how we go. If I feel worse by the time I even get to the top set, then I'll probably just write off the session, if I'm being totally honest. But we'll just see. So I'm going to basically try and get through squats. I've got high bar squats after. And then I've got comp bench. It's meant to be 3x5 if I was doing this session yesterday. But rather than benching back-to-back days, just because my pec is feeling pretty much better and I would like it to be healed in time for next week if I do move to higher frequency next week. Basically what I'm thinking is I'll do my tempo bench press today that I would usually do, which is like my priming bench that I do 2 days before my primary bench. So usually that's what I do on a Thursday. So I'll do my tempo bench today and just essentially skip that lighter 3x5 that I would usually do. And then I'll move on to my sumo. Now sumo is supposed to be primary today. Top pause single, 170 to 175, around 7.5 RPE. And then I've got some like back off volume work and quite a lot of volume work, and then some lower body kind of rehab movements as well. What I think I'll do, depending on how I feel, like hopefully as I start, I kind of get in the groove of it and I feel a bit better. I'm not feeling hopeful that that's going to happen, if I'm honest. If that's the case and I don't feel great, I'll do my secondary deadlifts today and just do paused 4x2 at 140. And then I'll just do all of my primary lifts together on Saturday. But basically, I'm just going to keep an open mind, see how we go, just take it like one lift at a time. Yeah, and go from there. It's really frustrating because I just feel like I haven't had a good string of training for a while, which isn't actually true. It's just last block wasn't great because I got unwell. The block before, the 2 blocks before, because this is my 4th block back self-coaching, I think, if I'm not mistaken. The first 2 were fantastic. It's just been the last 2 that haven't been amazing. But it's fine. It's one of those things. I think with me and migraines, I haven't had a migraine in such a long time. I know they're triggered by stress, and it's not work stress. Like work life has been fantastic recently. Like it's just like personal stress and me getting stressed over things that I don't need to be stressing over. So basically need to just get on top of that and sort that out, which isn't going to be too hard to do. I think I'm also a little bit stressed about body weight not being where I want it to be as well, which is also silly because it doesn't matter that much. I'm sitting mid 80s, I was at 85.5 today, which is fine. Like it's not bad. It's just annoying because 2 weeks ago I was in the 84s. And my calories have stayed the same. It's just my steps have taken a bit of a dip, which to be fair, so far this week, my steps have been great until yesterday's migraine issue where I ended the day on like 4,000 because I just did not have it in me to go for a walk. But today I'm already at like 8 and a bit thousand, I think. Yeah, just over 8,000. And I do intend to go on another walk tonight. So I should still be able to get at least 11, 12,000 in today. So that's fine. And hopefully I feel a bit better tomorrow. Tomorrow is a rest day. So I'll hopefully just kind of go on more shorter walks tomorrow, I think, rather than forcing a longer one. I will say I don't know how I'm going to feel. Like I feel pretty rough still, like I really do. And I don't want to admit that before I train because I just think it's going to leak into my training session. But also like I nearly fell asleep on the sofa 10 minutes ago because I was so tired. Like I'm not feeling myself. The good news is though, the last few days I've had literally zero pain in my hamstring, like zero pain in my hamstring. So hoping that that means the extra movement I have been doing when I can has massively helped, and it just reinforces to me and will make me continue to do it because obviously I want to stay healthy and being pain-free. Like I mean pain-free completely. Just feels like such a good like blessing, and I've missed it so much. So gonna continue with my steps as much as I can, obviously when I feel up to it. But my hamstring's feeling really good, which is just in time for this higher frequency experiment. If I decide to do it, I just need to get through this session that I am putting off. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to get this done. They talk about the spring break and oh yeah, Tijuana, here we come. My friends think she's so dumb and stupid, but I won't tell anyone. But her and I got going on. Brianna's brother's buying beer, so freaking cool, can you believe? He'll bring his friends to college guys, our weekend plans are such a dream. My friends think she's so dumb and stupid, but I won't tell anyone. Now it's so that when we are alone, she's touching me. Well, I'm a sucker for it, give it to me. The way she's looking at me, she's so damn perfect. It's so damn worth it. Okay, so I'm very out of breath because I've literally just re-racked at 170. So the goal was 170 for 5, technically an RP 7.5, which that was more like an 8.5, and I only got 4. However, the confidence boost, I didn't even think I'd be able to load 170 today. The confidence boost of how good squats felt, I was much slower on the descent than normal, really just hyper focusing on foot pressure, which is something I've struggled with recently. And it felt fantastic. I think I'm definitely stronger with a faster descent, but currently I need to just kind of get that movement pattern feeling better again before I can really commit to that faster descent. And I don't know what it was. Like, obviously I had very low expectations, especially for squats and how bad squats have felt recently. To come in and squat 170 for 4 on a day where like I felt so awful the last 2 days, like I nearly didn't train at all today. Huge confidence boost for what's to come with hopefully me actually feeling like a human again. My 160 last warm-up made me think I could go 175. Like genuinely, that's how good my 160 last warm-up felt. But I was like, let's play it sensible, because when you've not been feeling well, your top end dies off quicker. Let's be sensible here. So I only went to 170. I think I could have got the 5th rep, but it would have been hard and harder than it's supposed to be. But I'm happy with that, like genuinely happy with that. Definitely felt stronger with a narrower stance tonight, which I think my stance with is something I have struggled with a bit recently, especially since losing weight. But I think I've found what's best for me now. I'm not completely convinced with depth, but that's fine, something to work on. Nothing I'm gonna stress over right now. I don't miss squats for depth in comp. Because I squat so narrow, I'll usually get like 1 red on like a couple of my attempts, but it always stands, it's always fine. I haven't failed on depth in a long time, so obviously touch wood, that doesn't happen again. But yeah, I'm kind of shocked at how well that moved and how like solid that felt. Head isn't feeling any well, like I've still got my headache and it's still lingering and it's annoying, but it's nowhere near as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Like I thought squats were gonna make it worse. So happy with that. Yeah, I'm just gonna get the rest of squats done. I'm leaning towards doing my secondary deadlifts today and saving primary for Saturday, but obviously I'll decide when I get bench done. But yeah, I'm very happy with that, and I think that's gonna fill me with a lot more confidence for the rest of my squats kind of going forwards, which is good, because that's the lift I'm most like, I've got the least confidence in at the moment, so very happy with that. It's still way off my best, like it's 15 below my best ever set of 4. 15 kilos off my best set of 4 when squats haven't been feeling good lately, and I've been really unwell the last 2 days, is actually like pretty solid. Like I'm not mad at that. So yeah, I will try and keep a positive perspective of it. I was happy with it. I wasn't happy with how hard it felt, but I wasn't that surprised either. So yeah, it just felt good to have 170 on my back for reps on a session where I had very low expectations. So happy with that. Gonna get my high bar done and the rest of my bench and deadlifts.
So, this is what happened. Brianna's such a goddess, could get anyone she likes. But when she's looking at me like that, I know she's only mine. My friends think she's so dumb and stupid, but I won't tell anyone. Her hands are in my hair, whispering in my ear. I won't tell anyone, not a soul. But when we are alone, she's touching me. Well, I'm a sucker for it, give it to me. The way she's looking at me, she's so damn perfect. It's so damn worth it, the secret we keep. Yeah, I'm a sucker for it.
Okay, so it's 20 to 8. I've been on a bit of a go slow, but I will say this is why I really enjoy timing my training sessions and kind of almost rushing through them a little bit more on the earlier and lighter weeks of the block, because then if I have a week like this week, usually with my heavier weeks, I don't time my training sessions anyway, but I still like to get them done in good time. But today there was no way I was going to rush through this session, right? Like I just allowed myself to take my time, and I still got everything done in like reasonable time and quicker than I know a lot of people train. But I really feel the benefits of just taking my time. Like between my squat warm-ups, I had 2 or 3 minutes rest, whereas usually I just go and only rest before that top set. Whereas today I was like, no, let's just have a few minutes between each thing. And I massively felt the benefits of it. I've decided to do my secondary deadlifts today. I feel like I could do my primary, but 1, I do not want to overdo it because I don't want to feel like shit again tomorrow. But 2, it is getting like, my primary deadlifts, there's a lot of volume, and if I'm going at the same pace I've been going at, they're probably going to take me like 40-ish minutes, and I don't think it's fair on the neighbours for me to be deadlifting gone like 9 p.m. I wouldn't mind, except One of the neighbours that we really get on with leaves for work at like 6 in the morning, and I know that he would never ever complain if I was deadlifting out here at 9 o'clock. I'm pretty sure he stays up like watching TV in his room until like 9 o'clock anyway, but basically I don't want to be annoying. So I'm going to be a gracious neighbour, and I'm going to get my pause deadlifts at 140 done today, and then I'll do my primary deadlifts on Saturday daytime when I just have more time. I say daytime, it'll probably still be evening, but obviously you can get away with being a bit louder on the weekend, and also it'll be earlier than this, I think. So yeah, but I'm really thankful that I'm feeling not better for training. Like, I've still got my headache, I still feel exhausted, but it's not having an impact on my session, which has put me in a good mood. And I think this is where it's so important to still train if you can. Like, yesterday, there was no way I could train. I felt a lot of guilt over not training for the exact reason of like why I'm glad I trained today, because you never know how you're going to feel on competition day. You never know how you're going to feel in prep for a competition. You have to learn to train and adapt for the day, because often you'll have a good session on the days you don't expect to, and you have to just trust that it's going to come together. And like, if I can squat 170 for 4 today, on a day where I feel the way I have done for the last like 48 hours, what am I going to do when I actually feel good, right? And that's a massive confidence boost that I can take into future training and like future blocks. Bench felt decent. Like, my pec was a little bit irritated, but I think that's just the tempo of it. So I'm not being too strict with the tempo, as you can probably tell from the 100. But it was still tempo compared to what I would normally do, which is kind of the point. And they felt good, they felt strong. So I'm quite glad I didn't force myself to do my light bench today and then bench again tomorrow and then primary bench on Saturday. I think just doing 3 days of bench this week is probably sensible. But yeah, I'm feeling really glad that I did train, actually, and I feel good for it. I don't feel much worse considering I am, but I do think I need to get deadlifts done in good time, because I think there's probably an energy crash due at any time. But yeah, I'm just thankful that I pushed myself to train. I think I've always trained when I'm unwell. I've always pushed through. Like, I remember when I had COVID, I think it was the first time I had COVID, it like fully knocked me out, and I still trained through it. And I shouldn't have, like, looking back, I definitely shouldn't have, because I remember getting like even worse, ended up with a chest infection, but I still trained with a chest infection. But I've always been someone that trains when they're unwell, because of the fact of I want to prove to myself that I can do it no matter how I feel. So then if I have a comp day where I don't feel good, like if I've had a harsh cut and I feel pretty shitty, I've had competitions, I think British 2024 when I placed 3rd, I had the work, like that's the first time I had like properly hot bath, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And I felt like shit. Like, I had the worst headache after that cut. And I told myself that no matter how I feel, as long as I made weight, I'd be able to lift, because I can lift in any circumstance. And I think sessions like this remind me of that. So if I can take this mindset into the rest of my training, then I think we're in a good spot. I think as well, I was thinking about British yesterday. It was yesterday. It was before I had my migraine, come on. I was just thinking about British, and I was like, oh, there's just no point doing it this year. Like, you're not going to be as strong as you want to be. You're not going to, you're not going to progress, is basically what I was telling myself, which is silly, because bench and deadlifts are going so well. Even if my squat isn't quite at its best / matches its best and doesn't PB, if my deadlift PBs or gets back to the 190 plus range, which I know it is there already, like I know it is from how it's been feeling, then I'll still have progressed. And I'm like, also, you're going to have fun. You're going to be training with, like, competing with all the people that you love competing with. So just do it, kind of thing. And yeah, I had this moment where I was like basically writing myself off from having the comp that I want. And then I sat there and I was like, Sian, it's 16 weeks away. 16 weeks to turn things around is plenty of time. So I don't know what it was. I've just had this really like mental struggle with training lately and my progress and how I've been feeling about it. I've still been showing up and I've still been coming in with a positive attitude as much as I possibly can. But I thought it was probably important to just mention that I have been feeling like that. Okay, so session complete. I am a sweaty mess. I've just finished my accessories. I'm incredibly proud of myself for how that just went. Energy is gone. Like, I feel like I'm gonna die. So made the right call to doing secondary deadlifts, but deadlifts felt really good. Like, my positioning felt great. So overall, very good session, very productive session. I think even if I didn't manage to come out here and do everything I wanted to today, and like, granted, I didn't quite hit what I wanted to on squats by like 1 rep, but you know, I got so much productive work done. And I think this should be like a bit of a lesson. Like, even if you don't feel 100%, if you are able to go and get something done and it feels, you know, like you can, even if like, if it didn't feel sensible by the time I warmed up on squats, I would have just stopped, right? But if you can get some productive work done, it is always worth it. Like, it is always absolutely worth it. obviously adjust for the day. Like you have your RPEs, you have your like things to adjust. And also like if I came in here tonight and I was like, I can do something, but I can't stick to like the week 3 kind of intensity that I was going for, then I could have just done a light session. Like productive work is better than no, like you need to get productive work in. Like something is better than nothing a lot of the time. Like yesterday, I absolutely couldn't have trained. Like I 100% made the right call not training yesterday. There was no chance. But you know, had I trained this morning, I think it would have gone terribly. Had I trained this afternoon, it probably would have gone terribly. But allowing myself no pressure, training fairly late just so I can get all of my food in, you know, rest as much as possible during the day, kind of let myself just, you know, have the day to start recovering, especially from something like a migraine, because migraines just take time to get over. Like I think this morning there was no chance I could have trained. I mean, I slept for 3 hours straight on the sofa. There was no chance I was going to train. But you know, I didn't feel amazing coming out here tonight, and I still don't feel good. Can't speak. I still don't feel good now, but I feel mentally I feel better because I've done something. And this is now box ticked. Rest day tomorrow, primary lift Saturday. And it allows me to go into tomorrow, and I shouldn't feel guilty no matter what happens, right? But it allows me to go into tomorrow feeling less guilty. I haven't skipped anything other than my super light bench, which my pec, you know, it's going to be thankful for that. And I'm still on track for having a really good end of block session on Saturday. And I can just have a nice relaxing rest day tomorrow and actually just allow myself to hopefully get over this. So yeah, I'm really happy with how the session went. I'm happy with how everything felt. Movement patterns on all 3 lifts felt better than it has for a long time. So yeah, I think very thankful I came out to train tonight. Very glad I pushed myself to do that. I will definitely be sleeping well tonight. I'm going to take Zuko on like a 20-minute loop just around the area we live, because I find that going for a walk straight after deadlifting is the best thing to keep my hamstring feeling completely fine. Like it feels fine now, but I think if I just go in and kind of get myself showered and ready for bed, it will start to kind of seize up again. Whereas if I go for a walk first, that seems to be all it needs to just keep it at bay. So I'm going to do that. And then yeah, come in, get myself ready for bed, have a good night of sleep and plenty of rest tomorrow. That's the plan. Thank you very much if you made it to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. Please be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're not already. And I'll see you in a few days for the next one.
My friends think she's so dumb and stupid, but I won't tell anyone. Her hands are in my hair, whisper in my ear, I won't tell anyone. Not a soul.